There you go. So I guess
Oh, legit.
introduce yourself. Tell me, you don't have to use your last name if you don't want to, but name, what you do for a living, and I guess where you were before you started training with me. I guess, physically and, overall health wise where you were.
Okay. So, you would have started with like introduction kind of thing, age and like profile per se.
Sure.
All right. So, all right. My name is Lucas Santa Cruz. I am a 40, soon to be 45-year-old male, strong, thanks to Andy Rose. I got to meet Andy a few years back, for about 2 years ago, roughly. At the time, I was weighing around the 240 to 250 mark, if not 260, and completely out of shape. Pant size 38 and a quarter. T-shirts, double XLs that were, tied around the belly, and decided to actually do something about it. So we worked Andy first on building some strength level. My strength, having been a former powerlifter, was very discouraging during the beginning stages, because what in my brain I was expected to be moving weight wise, I wasn't even remotely close. So we took growing steps into building strength, building a good base. Probably 7 to 8 months into our relationship, I really introduced better diet. We're tied up a little bit of the diet side of it. Not that before diet wasn't good or in regards to the training, but it became more strict and more driven towards the goal of getting stronger and being involved in a powerlifting beat once again after almost 13 years. So in the meantime, we had to deal through COVID, and we continue to train. And honestly, the only setback that we had is that I had a torn pec in August, and in, I want to say, November or December, I went through my first meet back, and even through the setback, the results were outstanding. What else do you want to ask me?
What would you, you've kind of went over a couple of them, but what would you say have been some of your biggest accomplishments so far?
So I mean, from a basic growth. So I will say that having gone through several injuries, that were at the time catastrophic. I had a pretty severe back injury. I had combined 3 knee surgeries, shoulder issues with rotator cuff in the past, thanks to my prior life. The stability piece and the building the confidence that my body could hold and still be explosive was one of the areas of concern. And that is, that's one of the biggest things that we worked on. And I think that gaining that confidence, particularly under the bar when squatting, was critical for me. Because the first time that I got under a bar, I felt and I looked like a baby giraffe doing its first steps. And then from there, we moved on, and gradually within a year and a half, my squat looked like somebody that has been squatting for a lifetime. So that was, gradual work, and really dialing technique, understanding weaknesses, and supplementing accessories to strengthen those weaknesses, so it would all come together under the bar.
So how about physique-wise? How much has your body changed?
My body changed drastically. So I went from a pant size 38 and a quarter, like I said, to 35, now 34. I say 35 pant size because the 34s don't fit my calves. So that is the reason I had to wear 35s. But body composition changed drastically. I look like an old man, soft and fluffy. And my turnaround was to actually, according to my wife, turn heads pretty frequently, based on size. So I would, I at this point when I walk around on a t-shirt, I do look like a powerlifter. There's a solid build.
So last but not least, if you were to recommend someone to work with me, what would you tell them and why?
So like everything else, I think that, the stuff that you do, first and foremost, you got to find not only the right coach, but you also got to find the right client. I think that the first thing to understand is the communication piece. You set the expectations. And to be honest with you, I think that from a client perspective, the biggest thing is commitment. So if you're going to make that, a financial commitment to get the best of the best, as far as coaching advice and mentorship, then utilize it. So truly setting out the realistic expectations, what it takes. You have been phenomenal at that. So I think that you're not selling the dream, you're selling the tools to get to the dream. And it's up to the client to actually leverage those tools. So if somebody's going to go hire you because they want to work out, yes, that's great. But I believe that you're better suited, or you shine, when you have somebody with a goal, and they are committed to the end result, and they're going to follow the cadence that you provide them. If it's somebody that just wants to hang out and work out, anybody can make anybody sweat, right? So
Idiot sweat.
Right. So I think that is probably the biggest thing, is to set the expectations in the beginning, and have an open communication. Listen, one of probably the biggest things that we have in our interactions is that, after so many months, you know how to drive me, and I know how to give you the right feedback. So I think that was one of the biggest things that for us has made it very successful, is that as a client, I can go to you and say, hey, today I feel more like doing this type of stuff, or while I was doing X, Y, and Z exercise, I noticed this deficiency. Let's work on that. So I think collaborative piece, after we set up some expectations, and you got to know me and I got to know you, has been very fluid. That as of now, we can just talk for 5 minutes and say, hey, listen, I want to build me something around this type of training, and I have it in 20 minutes. So that is the key. I think the key is to have somebody, if you want to be driven and you want to be successful at the end of the day, the coach-client relationship is critical. And I think the biggest thing for me to recommend you to anybody else is, I will not recommend you unless I know that person wants to put the work. So that is the thing. So when you thrive through commitment. So as a coach, when your client is committed and driven, you excel. So that is one, as a client to client, I will say, if you want to throw money away, go ahead, throw it away. But with you, the result comes in with the commitment of the client, and the result will come. So that is the biggest probably takeaway.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to stop this real quick.